Empaths, stop taking the blame when people react to your change. That's our topic for today. A lot of people are beginning to regulate ourselves and stop regulating everyone else. That's what I'm trying to say. And then the relationship starts to feel off. And I'll likely repeat some of this because it's people are coming on, getting the notifications, and I'm going to close the door. Not going to. I wanted to turn the light off. That's what I want to do because it's so bright. So let me see. There. Does that make it too dark? It's right in the. I guess it'll work. We'll see. We're going to see how this works because it's right in the. Yeah, it wasn't like that before. I'm not sure what happened. Anyway, let me pull up my screen. Maybe. It's not even populated on my screen. Good morning. There we go. Good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome. Today's topic, empaths stop taking the blame. Stop taking the blame when people react to your changing. Take a breath. Many of us are learning how to regulate ourselves, and we're stopping the unconscious regulation of everyone else in our world. Hello, Alita. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. When we start to change, we're doing amazing things. You got here, you did, and I was like a minute late, so perfect. So I was filling in all my little stuff, the topic and all that, and so perfect timing, and I turned off the light. So the light right there, that was right in the camera. Yeah. So I turned that off. Okay. I was watching the channel and refreshing. Good job. Good job. Is that wasp ant? What does that mean? Do I want to know? Do we just need to take care of it? All right. Well, I'll say good day because I don't know where everyone's from. I know here in the south, I mean, in the, where am I at? Oklahoma, it's morning. So good morning. We're talking about stop taking the blame. Empath, stop taking the blame. Hi, Mel. When you change. We begin to change. We stop doing the things that we've always done. We start to change the patterns that we've always lived. And the people that have depended on us for that don't really like it. So it starts to feel uncomfortable. Can y'all relate to that? You started changing. You started being different. Maybe not even outright. Maybe you haven't even said a word. Over usage of mobile addiction. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Happy Saturday. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Can you set moderators? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I don't know what that means. You can do it. Yeah, I'll talk about that actually. That's a big topic today. I've heard many people who do a lot of usage of their mobile, and some of them just get off of Facebook and YouTube, whatever social media that you use a lot, they just get off, and it's an addiction, so it takes a little bit to reset. Today, right now, I'm talking about when we start to regulate ourselves and we stop regulating the environment and the people that are used to us regulating their emotional state, how our relationships start to change. Automatically, is that really fair to say? Automatically, almost always, we as empaths, because we've always been so enmeshed, good morning, Serena, so enmeshed with people in our life, and there's been no separation, we start to feel guilty and doubt ourselves when we energetically start to regulate ourselves and we stop regulating them. It's very unconscious. We talked about this last week. If you didn't see last week's, there's more. It's the beginning part of it. How we regulate people. And then what happens when we stop? Many of my relationships have ended when I stopped regulating, because they got really annoyed. They got irritated. Oof, hold on a second. I have a sage burning like crazy and I'm smoke in my room. Apparently, we needed some smudge. I'm right here. See, it's burning like crazy. Whew. I just smudged this morning, but I didn't get it all the way out apparently. So let me get my smudge out. There we go. I think I'm hoping. Sorry guys, I'm like distracted because I'm getting all smoky choky here. It got on the inside and started. Maybe it's out. Ooh, dang. We've had them the whole smudge stick burn up before because we had a left out and it didn't get put out or whatever. So, okay. Coming back to topic here. Okay, I think I have it out now. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's pretty smoky. All right, so people get when I stopped regulating people in my life, then they kept trying to pull me back into the ways that we were always in relationship together. The manipulation, the hi, got cats. So the manipulation, the little subtle reaching out energetically, trying to plug into us. We're like, done. Right? Many of us are just done. We've been doing it for our whole life. Now we're very aware. We're very attuned to when we do that and when others attempt to take from us. But how many, when we start doing this, we start to feel guilty? How many of you start to feel guilty? And our people get irritated and they push back and want to know, like, you've changed. What happened? Why are you so different? They don't really know what happened. All they know is that we've changed how we interact or how we energetically are around them. Right? But they've been depending on us to show up the same way. They depend on us to do what we've always done. And when we stop doing that, we stop tracking, we stop softening things, we stop over explaining, right? They want to know what happened. We got tired of being tired. We were tired of being exhausted. And somewhere along the way, we understand it's not our job. It's not our job to regulate or transmute for other people. But it's what we've been taught our whole entire life. Also unconscious. I don't know about y'all, but my parents didn't know. They didn't know what to do with me. They didn't know that I was empathic. They didn't know. All they knew was I was highly sensitive and I was too sensitive, too much, too deep, too intense, too emotional, too something. That's all they knew. And I'm automatically scanning and tracking and regulating by default. Let me keep the peace no matter what the cost. That means I'm going to regulate the energy. Now, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Literally, I don't know as a kid. I didn't learn this until much later. Much later in my adult life. So when we stop doing that, they feel the absence. Stranger tried to stay in my field longer than necessary. This was new. Oh, people do that. Yes. Okay, can one of y'all take care of that? So yes, people do that. They stay in our field. They like how they feel around us. We are bright light in the world. We have really great energy, and they love to be around us. And um, and then let me see. Y'all, this is distracting. Hi. There we go. All right. Got it. Yes. So some people just don't have any boundaries, and so they come around people that are really empathic and highly sensitive, and they feel good around us. They feel our energy. Usually unconscious. They don't realize that they just like us. And we're like, you're like kind of needy. You know? so I so I I'm trying to move away, and they're coming in, and we're like, whoa, you need to back off. But we don't want to say anything because then we feel weird and awkward. I never did. Right? It just felt weird and awkward. So I often wouldn't say anything. Now, when we learn how to master our own energy, sometimes the words are necessary. Sometimes you're like, hey, you know what? Can you back off for a little bit in my space? You don't know them. They're not even aware they're doing it. Ay, ay, ay. Seriously, people. Go bother someone else. So, let me come back to here. When I feel someone, strange people, even people I know, when I feel them coming into my space, I just pull all of my energy in, and I'll put the bubble around me. Because it can also mean that my energy's too far out when I'm out in public or I'm around new people. There's a way to sense them without putting our energy out in the field. And if we're not used to doing that, we'll put our energy in the field to feel them, to check them out. They feel that. And so it's like an invitation. All right. The internal conflict for us, when we begin to, right, it is we're just surprised because we're not, we're getting comfortable in our own skin, and we're not trying to regulate or be on guard in the environment. And so when someone comes in, we're like, what the hell? Who are you? Why are you in my space? So it feels surprising. But the internal conflict for us, when we do that and they're like, what's going on? Are you okay? How many of you have been asked that? When you've stopped regulating the people around you, is everything all right? Are you okay? I mean, I had someone call me and go, what's going on? Are you okay? I mean, it just felt really off yesterday. Well, what feels off is that I've stopped overstepping the boundary in that relationship. They don't really know what to do with that. And they're not aware. They just feel the difference. Have you ever deleted someone in your phone, and then within, I don't know, a very short time, they reach out to you? I had that happen one day. I was going through my phone. I'm like, let me delete some of these people I don't really talk to anymore. And one of them reached out. Hey, I was just thinking about you. I just had closed the door by deleting the contact. Just like, are you kidding me? I haven't talked to you in a year or whatever. So here you are. Yeah, it's interesting. When we are learning We're learning how to stay in our own lane, regulate our own energy, and we're stopping that. We're having a boundary for ourselves. Mm. I thought my husband left. I heard his voice. So we can fall back into our old role. Yeah, let me close the door. I don't know. Can y'all hear that? If you can't hear it, I'll leave it. I'm not going to worry about it. I don't want to disrupt it again. So let's see. We're talking about regulating. I'm not regulating anybody else's energy but my own, but it sure feels like they're like. My husband just has a voice that carries. You know, he was a sergeant in the military, so he's got the voice that just carries. Even when he's talking soft, it can be loud. When we're surprised, what you had mentioned there, Mel, when we're surprised, when we feel surprised or caught off guard, we can easily just fall right back into the old roles of over-explaining, regulating, making it difficult for ourselves, right? We're uncomfortable with ourselves because it's new. And when we're learning something new, we're getting stretched. And it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for them, and it's uncomfortable for us. So when we're in it, we're learning how to stay in our own space and stop regulating them and stop taking the blame when they start to notice. Check in with yourself. Now, I've talked about pause, breathe, drop into the body. But the question you can ask yourself is, am I communicating with them or am I trying to regulate with them? We communicate. When we start to the minute you step into over-explaining, stop. This is where you learn. You stop. Why am I talking so much? Why did I just say all that? And if you're in the middle of it, you're just like, oh my gosh, I just said way too much. I need to stop talking now. Just say that. Own it. Because when we're over-explaining, we're not communicating anymore. We're attempting to regulate the situation so that we can all feel comfortable again. Right? It's part of the process. Can you stay comfortable? Not, let me cancel that. Can you stay with yourself when you're feeling uncomfortable? Can you not leave yourself because it's uncomfortable when you've set a boundary energetically, when you've stopped regulating them? Can you stay with yourself? Stay in your own center. There's no need to go out there and start to revisit the ways that we've always been. And so that's part of learning to regulate ourselves and rewire the nervous system. When we can stay with ourselves in the discomfort. Because often I want to get right back in it. I want to start to, because that's my habit. That's what I've learned. That's what I've done my whole life. Questions? Anybody have any questions? How's this landing for you? When we can stay with ourselves in the midst of discomfort, we stop abandoning ourselves. When we revert, and it's part of the growing process as we're learning to stay in our own space and not regulate for other people energetically, emotionally, spiritually. But it's very uncomfortable. And so in the beginning, we often start doing the same thing. That's our habit. It's what we know. And each time it gets a little bit easier. Because once you know, you can't not know. I have been so much better at my own regulating. Yes. Finally see what the whole thing means, where it's all coming from for me. The stretching. Yes. The stretching. When we learn to stay with ourselves, we learn to let ourselves be uncomfortable. We can breathe into it. We can drop into our body. We feel where we're at. We're starting to shift our own identity. And this is how it works. We shift the energy, we build self-trust, and we stop abandoning ourselves. It's helping the relationship, I tell you. Yes, 100%. Absolutely. Congratulations. I keep forgetting to pull my energy in. No wonder why some people act weird. They're responding to your energy for sure. Yeah. So blessed to have the knowledge. Yes, finally. It feels like finally, right? It's just, that's how it goes. If you look at your whole life, that's how we've learned everything. It takes time. We have long-standing habits. From the time I was little till several years ago now. But from the time I was little, for most of my life, I was so enmeshed in the energy of everyone in my environment and the people pleasing, all that stuff. I didn't know where I ended and the world began. There were no boundaries. It was all a blur. So I have no idea who I am. Right? I don't know who I am because I'm so busy regulating my environment and the people in it. I think that's all me. And then we walk around going, what the hell is wrong with me? Nothing. But if we've been regulating, people pleasing all of our life, we have no sense of self. If I have no sense of self, I don't know who I am. I don't know what my boundaries are. And then when I start to have boundaries, I feel horrible. I feel terrible having boundaries because, oh my God, they're going to reject me. They're going to leave me. I hurt their feelings. They're going to now abandon me. But I'm abandoning me every single time I do it. I'm leaving myself to make sure that everyone else is okay around me. Thank you for the hearts. This is where we stop. This is where we stop regulating everyone else. Let's just regulate ourselves. When we regulate ourselves and we can stay regulated, then our nervous system shifts and we begin to feel safe. There's a safety element when we're regulating everything around us, because that's what kept us feeling safe and surviving. We don't have to do that today, but our nervous system is still wired for that. It's not a wrong thing. It's how we're wired, literally. Yes, you explained it so well. Again, the boundaries I didn't quite realize I was crossing in the realization. Yes, absolutely. We don't know. We didn't know. We're just now learning. I have a client I was working with, and she has a mentor. Call her mentor. When the client started using their voice, the mentor didn't really like that. And so she tried to make her small again and push her back into the place she belongs because she stopped regulating in the relationship and taking a stand for herself. I don't have to. No more short-circuiting. Exactly. But that's what happens when we do that. I've had several of those. Some lasted a long time. I talked about this last time. Some lasted I think it was last time. Anyway, some lasted a long time. They were long relationships because we set up the rules in the beginning of the relationship. So if you've been married for a long time, the rules you set up in the beginning is how you've been operating all along. Now you're changing. The partner doesn't want that. They like you how you are because they've depended on you to stay regulated. Again, there's nothing wrong here. We blame ourselves. It's our fault. I'm bad and wrong. I'm guilty. I'm shameful. I'm all the things, right? It's not true. It's what we've learned. It's what we've been taught. None of that's true. None of it. It's how we were wired in our nervous system from the womb. It's like a default mechanism. And then we we attract people that match. Spoken or unspoken, we set the rules in the beginning of our relationships. Majority, I would say, are unspoken. We just start to operate in certain ways. And then over time, some people start to grow and evolve. The one who's not, they like it how it is, want to keep pulling us back. Yes, I can see that in family, for sure. That's why I'm not around my family. Not around very much of my family. So there's long relationships, and then there's some that haven't been in like a year or two. Some have been significantly less time. And then there comes a point where this happened. I was like, what am I doing? What's happening here? I was just starting to feel exhausted almost every time I would talk to them. And I went, well, I'm regulating that person every time we have a conversation. Even though I would ask the right questions and even though I would give it back to them, there's still a part of me that's regulating the relationship and their emotional state. And when I stopped, I realized that I was doing that. I was like, oh, there was we were doing this, like we were clashing all the time. And I went, I'm done. I'm not cleaning up your messes anymore. And I straight up told her that. And it took a while, but she ended up, I don't feel safe. And she's got a lot of stuff to work through. A lot of trauma. So it's no wonder that it triggered her trauma for her. So, some are short term and some are long term. When you're in the long term, it's a big commitment across the board. But when we're living with someone, whether it's a partner or a family, I don't even know if it's more work. We just have a lot more practice than that. We get a lot more practice because we're right in our space all the time. So we have a lot more practice space. And, it feels messy and it feels like sometimes it's getting worse and sometimes it just feels really ugly, and we stay the course. And that doesn't mean that we don't take a step backward sometimes. It's part of the growth. When we can stop blaming ourselves and stop making ourselves wrong about it, it's part of our growth. The nervous system sometimes will pull you back where it feels safe. Even though your mind's like, but I'm going over here, I'm going in this direction, but the nervous system is not wired for that yet. And so sometimes the nervous system, it reacts to being triggered, feeling blindsided. Somebody asked about doom scrolling. Did I take them off? Might have. Does our energy field automatically transmute unconsciously? Yes. Yes, it does. Until we're conscious of it. Not wired for that. Yeah. We're wired, we get wired in the womb. Our nervous system is forming in the womb. And depending on how our mother is or isn't regulated, we're regulating or not regulating with her. It's part of that, how we're designed and being what's the word? Formed. So up until now. And it still takes time, even though we're like, you know what? I'm done with this shit. I'm done with this behavior. I'm done. Great. I'm done. Here. But the nervous system is like, oh, wait a minute. This is not safe. So we still will do it. It is unconscious. So we automatically transmute unconsciously until we learn that we're doing it. Once you learn you're doing it, you still may unconsciously do it for a minute. or longer. Right? It takes something to rewire. So every time we do a micro step or a micro shift, every time we remain with ourselves when we feel uncomfortable and we stop ourselves from over explaining or over functioning in the relationship, we're rewiring the nervous system every single time until it becomes normal. But when we've been raised in survival, and that's what our nervous system is wired for, survival, it's always going to pull us back. Triggers the mind to pull us back. Oh, wait, this is not safe. We better get to where it's safe. Because I don't know about y'all, but how many of you were silence was not safe? Or maybe silence was safe. Being too emotional was not safe. Not doing anything, relaxing for a day was not safe. Always had to be producing something, proving your worth. So there's many ways that it shows up. More layers, and we get better at working with our triggers, yes. Yeah. It's the micro steps. It's not the big monumental things, typically. There are big aha moments, but it's typically those little micro steps that you consistently take over time that rewires the nervous system and regulates ourselves. As we continue to take those micro steps and rewire the nervous system, our identity is shifting. How we operate in the world is shifting. Yeah. So, silence over emotional. Yes, micro steps. Yes. Thank you. Yes. So if you're liking this, I see there's a few people. If you're liking this, subscribe, turn on your notifications. We do this every week. There will be a couple of weeks in April that I will be out. I'm doing Vision Quest. So I'll be out for a couple Saturdays. So I'm going to pull what we've forgotten from this deck. Have any questions? Any questions or comments? How's this all landing? I know you said it's really good for you. Yeah, so next week will be cards just fell out. Of course, they would hit the floor. Number 17 and number 8. So 2 8 cards. Isn't that interesting? Star consciousness. So here's what happens. The deeper our own regulation, the cleaner we are, the clearer we are, the more grounded we are. The better we learn how to manage our relationships instead of regulating them. And then it's a collaborative relationship and a partnership instead of over-functioning, over-explaining, and all those things. So I say that because the clearer that we are, when we get into the cleaner in our relationships and our energy, the less we're overspilling, the less we're leaking, and the deeper our consciousness. The clearer our intuition gets. Because, why? I'm in my own skin, I'm in my own space, my own energy, and I've stopped over-functioning for the world. I've stopped transmuting. I'll be here next week. It's reminding me that its boundaries are a constant practice, like you said, not just a one and done. Exactly right. Yeah. So next week I'm going to come on and I'll have a wrap up for all this regulation stuff. And then, and I'll let you know. So I'll be here next week. Just let me be clear. I'll be here next week. Yes. All right. The cardinal directions. I'm not really sure. Cardinal directions. Looks like a motherboard. I'm gonna look this one up. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. It feels like when I look at this, I think of a computer and the motherboard, which is like us. We have our motherboard. You can see the DNA strands along the edges. So it's all coded. So they come back to our center. What is it? Where are you? I have a cat here crying at me. We have lots of cats. All right, the cardinal directions. The house rules are instructions. Okay. When most of us think about the cardinal directions used around the world, we think of north, south, east, and west. We also think about the tangible part of the cardinal directions, the compass. The directions, I'm having a hard time with the lighting here. The directions use the rising and setting of the sun as reference points because the earth rotates from west to east. The sun appears to rise in the east and set in the west, yet the directions change with the earth. As the earth's magnetic field varies over time, our positions of the magnetic north and magnetic south shift. I don't know what the hell that has to do with any of us. What does that tell all of us? Let's be open to the idea that maybe this is all much simpler than we thought. Maybe we've been overcomplicating things and not adjusting when our own energetic fields change. Okay. Right there, right? Our internal compass can be impacted and sometimes we need to adjust. Right on line with what we're talking about. This is especially true when we follow our instincts and listen to our gut and act in accordance with doing not just good by ourselves, but by others. Excuse me. When humans tune into our intuition, use our own internal compass, and adjust when needed, we can better communicate and collaborate, not only with nature, but with one another. I just said all that. I love when that happens. Where might your compass need to be adjusted? How has your intuition or internal compass helped guide you? This week, try to imagine you have a compass for your being, tuned in. Have a compass for your being. Oh, it's a period there. Tune into and notice and track where it pulls you. So, exactly what I just said. Yeah. Any questions? My lovelies, any questions? All right, if you're liking this, I think I just said this, but subscribe, turn on notifications. And if you're interested in doing some much deeper internal work, reach out to me and you can set up a short alignment call and see if we're a good fit to move forward. So, questions, anybody? Or any more comments? Anything else? Just notice. We've lived our life being hyper vigilant in our environments. Scanning, paying attention. This is part of how we regulate things. This is where we learn how to just notice what's happening instead of scanning the environment, remaining hyper vigilant. It's also part of rewiring the nervous system so that we feel safe existing instead of feeling like we have to be on all the time. So notice, just simply become the observer and notice what's happening. This will help to reset the nervous system, rewire it, and we get to relax a little. Because being on, I don't know about all of you all, but I was exhausted for a long time on every level. You're welcome. Just exhausted because I'm constantly on. Adrenal fatigue, fibromyalgia, sickness. Some people call it, thank you for the morning boost and reminder to stop and sit with myself. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. You're very welcome. Sit and be still and just simply notice. This is what we're learning how to do. Removing the hypervigilance, the scanning constantly, and learning how to notice it. love you, Marty. Never, I love you too. Never a disappointment here. Can you believe I still have not gotten to my many, many notes from working under you? So blessed to have found you. Oh, thank you. I'm just grateful you're here too. What is it, dude? Me too. Me too. Me too. I'm very grateful. Yeah, I think that's a wrap with the notice. Learning how to notice it. Become the observer. This is practice. Are you communicating or are you attempting to regulate the situation? That's your question. When you start wanting to overfunction or jump in or get busy, are you communicating or starting to overfunction? All right, lovelies. I will be here next week on the 4th of April. My gosh, already. So I will be here. As far as I know, the same time. I will post it. Have a beautiful weekend. I love you. Namaste.